So the other day I was biking to work and I was stopped at an intersection, and this homeless man was crossing the street and he was yelling things at all the cars, and he stopped at the corner and he saw me and he yelled something at me. He asked me something. I'm not sure what it was, but I ignored him and I was just gonna keep going. And so the light turns green and I start to bike across the intersection and across the street, and he starts to run after me. And so I go faster, and I planned to lock up my bike super quickly and get into my job as quickly as possible and get my managers. So I locked up my bike super quickly and I saw that he wasn't there anymore. So I assumed that I suppose, biked fast enough. I assumed that he left. And so I crossed the street and he was right there in front of my work at the host stand. And he kept looking at me and then looking away, looking at me, looking away, saying, oh my God, like, look at her. And obviously it made me really uncomfortable. So I went straight to the back and I told my managers and they took him away. Then about an hour into my shift, I had been doing something for my manager in the back, and I walked up to the host stand to find two of my co-hosts dealing with this incredibly rude man at the front who continued to call them stupid, who said that they weren't doing their jobs properly and that they shouldn't have those jobs, that they weren't qualified, when he obviously knows nothing about the situation and when they were definitely in the right. About 10 minutes after that, I was bussing a table and a random man, said, oh, hi, gorgeous. I'm very used to having these interactions with people, particularly being a host and being a young woman working in a restaurant. However, just that day, with all of those interactions rolled into a total of about 4 hours, really just made me think how distressing it can be to be a young woman in this age. And it's so scary to walk out into public as a young woman sometimes, just knowing that honestly kind of anything can happen. And a lot of it is socially acceptable, not socially acceptable, but just not stopped or talked about necessarily. And if you have a younger brother, educate him. If you have a younger sister, protect her, because we need it sometimes.